going to be slightly in cut, and I'm just massaging it where it only touches the metal. I like to do what I call a hot wax and a cold wax because we want the pores to grab the wax. A good scrape on your skis is really what's going to be the difference between how fast your ski goes and how slow your ski goes. And everything feels good to me. This ski's gonna be ripped. I run Après Mobile Ski Tech. I enjoy tuning skis just about as much as I enjoy skiing. Let's tune some skis.
A ski is made up of a top sheet, a core, the sidewall, base, side edge, and the base edge. In this video, it will be important to understand the basics of edge angle. When a side edge has a 90-degree angle, it looks like this. But if a ski tech wants to sharpen it to 91-degree angle, it will look like this. The base edge is similar. If a ski tech wants to sharpen the base edge to 1 degree, it will look like this, making a sharper edge.
1 degree on the base edge, 91 on the side edge is what most people feel comfortable skiing on. It's going to be slightly in cut from that perfect 90 degrees. 92 is going to be farther, 93 is going to be farther. So the more cut you have on the side edge of your ski, the more it sticks in the ice and snow. So if you go onto a whole bunch of forums online, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that want to tell you exactly how to tune your skis, and they're gonna say things like you always need to go tip to tail. Nobody in this trailer right now, at least, is going to notice the difference between if I file tip to tail or tail to tip. I'm just removing metal and then I'm gonna buff it out later. So you'll see on here there's still a bunch of rock strikes that 1 degree edge couldn't get rid of. Here we have a Moon Flex. This is a 100 grit Moon Flex file. It flexes. This can go multiple directions, whereas a traditional file with the straight teeth, that can only go tip to tail. This one can go back and forth, and you can kind of massage some of those imperfections out of the edge with this. What I do is I set it flat, and then I pinch it so it's slightly off the base, and then I flex it into that 1 degree angle that we just set. And I'm just massaging it where it only touches the metal. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm just kind of massaging, feeling for a burr. Not really trying to take a lot of. There's one right there. You can kind of hear it. So I'm just massaging that, making it a little bit smoother. So talking about detunes, you have a contact point where when you flex the ski, it contacts the snow here and here, and then the ski starts going up. This ski has quite a bit of rocker, so there's some different schools of thought on this. A more aggressive skier might want to use some of this rocker to help steer the ski, so you'd want to leave part of it sharp, but you always want this part of the ski, the tip, and then a little bit past the tip to be pretty dull, like can't catch anything, will never shave a fingernail again. What you would do is where you want it really dull is a really aggressive angle, like 45 degree angle on that, right on that corner. And then as you come back, you kind of loosen that angle until you're right about sharp. And then you take a heavy grit, this is a 100 grit gummy stone, and then you gummy it. Smooth everything out. This is like a sandpaper for metal. Anytime you sharpen a piece of metal, it creates a burr. So when we did the side edge, we made a burr coming this way. Now we just did the base edge, which makes a burr coming this way. Super small, you can barely feel it. You definitely can't even see it. But to knock that burr that's left, I just gently run it down the ski on both, and that's all it takes to take that burr off, and then it still stays sharp. So you can tell it's sharp because it's shaving off pieces of my fingernail. I like to do 2 steps to a wax. I like to do what I call a hot wax and a cold wax. Those aren't correct because there are actually waxes that are hot waxes and cold waxes. We're only using hot waxes. But what I like to do is do a first round of wax with all temp wax, or some people call it universal wax. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to scrape it while it's hot. So on this pass, what I like to see as I'm gently heating up the ski is I go real slow, and I like about a 5 to 8 inch snail trail behind the iron. Right now I do a quick test. I feel the bottom of the ski in multiple places. You don't want it to be hot anywhere. You need to let the ski cool off and let it cool off slow if you ever feel that. So now I'm just going to scrape this real fast. The wax comes off way easier than normal when it's hot. And now when I feel the ski, the whole ski is warm. It's all almost exactly the same temperature. So now with the ski warm, I'm going to take my temperature specific wax, which over here is the blue, Sun Valley Ski Tools blue, which is 17 degrees to 21 degrees, and that's snow temperature, not air temperature. Now it is very easy for me to get a ski too hot here, so I have to make sure I'm continually moving that iron. And the iron should never stop at any point of this process. Now we're gonna let this cool real slow because we want the pores to grab the wax. If you cool it off real fast, like it's cold outside, if I was to set this outside, what would happen is the pores would close real fast and it would eject the wax out of those pores. Whereas if you cool it slow, the pores kind of grab the wax and hold on to it for longer. A good scrape on your skis is really what's going to be the difference between how fast your ski goes and how slow your ski goes. If you do a good scrape, you're just going to love the way it feels. Basic scraper theory. If I were to push forward with the scraper like this is the most aggressive way to scrape. This is really good for getting the top coat of wax off, but it's also really good at scratching your skis and taking too much wax off and then taking plastic off and all that plastic that you just waxed. The second most aggressive way to ski is almost straight up and down forward like this. You'll see me use this one most of the time for removing wax because I don't want to risk damaging somebody's skis if there's a tiny little burr on this scraper. The mellowest way to scrape is a sweeping motion. So I flex it and I push it against the ski and then I sweep to clean up the wax. Very important that these stay sharp. You can do that with a rasp at home mounted to a bench, or you can buy a scraper sharpener, which in my opinion costs way too much money for what it is. So this is my second most aggressive, and I'm just trying to remove as much wax as I can, as fast as I can. Even everything out, any little globs, just get it all to the same plane. And then once I have it generally waxed, or the wax generally taken off, then I start by cleaning this, and then I'm using my sweeping motion to knock the rest of that wax off. And I'm sweeping even more gently this time because I'm closer to the actual plastic. There isn't a whole lot of wax left, so I'm barely touching the ski. And I'm just doing a sweeping motion, real gentle. And I'm gonna grab a Brillo pad. You can buy an expensive Brillo pad that has the word ski attached to it, or you can go to Walmart and buy almost exactly the same Brillo pad for about a fifth of the cost. And now I'm putting a lot of pressure on this Brillo pad, and I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. At home, this is all you really need to do. Once you're done with this step, you're ready to go skiing. But before you go skiing, you want to do the finger test. So the finger test, you spread your fingers apart, place it on the ski, and you put some pressure on this finger so it kind of drags your skin. And I'm feeling the whole ski to see if there's anything that causes resistance or feels different than anything else. So right here, if we can get a close-up right here, you'll probably be able to see it. This is where I didn't quite get all of the wax off. So that's a part that I need to spend some more time on. When I do my finger test, I'm going, my pinky wants to slide, my ring finger wants to slide, but my middle finger sticks to that. So the snow is also going to stick to that. So I'm going to spend some more time just brushing that out. You can kind of see those white flakes. That means that wax is still way too thick. If you have really bad white flakes and they aren't going away with the Brillo pad, you can always pick up this scraper, flex it into that area, and just real gently knock some of that down. And because we're in a shop, I have some shop tools, and I really, really, really love this gun. Try to use a cleaner part of it. And everything feels good to me. This ski's gonna rip.